They'll lynch you, but he did, and he laughs at
Yes, everybody, Russ and the West End Network. Hope you're all safe and well. If you're around here, where the hell have you been? But thanks for joining us. And if you could give it a cheeky like, cheeky comment, maybe subscribe, would be lovely. Thank you very much. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, isn't it? Yeah, Tuesday. Beans go out tomorrow. So anyway, I hope you're safe and well. It's Easter holidays, isn't it? So the kids are off school. Me and Kendall and Anton were just saying, it's like, it all blends into one. It's like Christmas in between Christmas and New Year. You never know what day's what. And obviously, you know, bank holiday Friday, Good Friday, Easter Monday. So the bins all change again. Anyway, it's enough about bin talk. Obviously, we have our second of 9 games in April tomorrow when West Ham entertain in inverted commas Newcastle at the London Stadium. Our game in hand, one of our games in hand, same as Newcastle's. Originally it was due when old Lizzie died, wasn't it? And it got cancelled. So anyway, let's see. We're going to chat. Epic. Good afternoon, good evening to you. Mikey from Belgium's in. I hope you're well. So obviously, as we tend to do, we always try and get an opposition fan in. Now, we didn't play Newcastle a long time ago, actually, and we had this person on, and she got rave reviews. So back by popular demand, I'll bring in Kendall. There she is. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Are you?
Yeah, well, I'm all right.
Good.
As I said before we started, got one eye on the scores at the moment because it's sort of, I mean, Brighton are beating Bournemouth away. That's good for us. Leeds, Forest, some team will get points. Whether I want Leeds to get 3 points or whether I want 1 all. Leicester are drawing with Villa, so Villa could do us a favour, but managerless Leicester and managerless Chelsea are drawing 0-0 at home for Liverpool in the sort of dead rubber match, really, in all honesty, isn't it? It's not like you, riding high, 3rd in the league, still there. 2 games down on Tottenham as well. How are you? Are you still loving life at the moment?
Absolutely I'm loving life. Like the weekend, especially as a Newcastle fan, was just perfect. Like Sunday was just so perfect. I could not have asked for any more. Obviously, all that being said, yes, I would have took a loss on Sunday if we'd won the final. Fair enough, that would have been fine. But it wasn't to be. The final wasn't to be. But I did have a great time anyway. So yeah, it's still very nice to be a Newcastle fan. Obviously, it's now getting to like the serious end of the season. The season so far has been fantastic. It's been such a good ride. But now it's like the nitty gritty starts now, like big time. Obviously, you'll understand yourselves. Normally, it's us at the other end. It's like the other way around normally, which is bizarre. We've like swapped places. We are normally the ones trying to fight relegation at this point. So it's honestly bizarre because I genuinely don't know what's happening at the bottom end of the table. Like unless I really look.
I was going to say exactly the same thing, right? I was picking up my daughter from her sleepover today. I was driving there thinking, this is so, just having a few thoughts as I was driving on. I'm thinking, I don't even know what's going on at the top of the league this year and Europe. And then I'm thinking last year, all I knew about was going to the top 8 places. Didn't give a shit about anyone from 10th downwards. Now it's complete role reversal, and a complete role reversal from our fortunes as well, from yourselves. I mean, last year you were in a similar position to us, crapping every result that came through. Hopefully you stay up where, you know, we were sort of, we was riding high in the Premier League last year. It's a complete role reversal, isn't it, this year? Complete role reversal.
Yeah, it's just so weird. Like normally I'm obviously very clued up on what's happening at the bottom of the table. I know the points everyone's on. I know who's in what position. And at this stage, like 12th to 20th is just so tight. Like a win for any one of those teams, it just changes everyone's positions and fortunes in the table. And yeah, now I'm just kind of, I know what's going on from like 7th upwards, really. If that, like, it's really weird to be in my position right now because it's, as I say, normally the business end of the season, I'm kind of like, oh god, like is the 3 teams worse than us? Like obviously on 2 occasions there hasn't been, and yeah, it's normally a bit of a worry now, but the worry's like very different this time round, and it's whether we get Champions League. So
yeah, I mean the worry is whether you're going to be the Champions League or the Europa League. That's sort
Which
of
is
it.
great.
In all,
Do you know what? That's actually
purpose.
very rude of me, isn't it? Because actually, like, that's for us especially. I mean, some clubs wouldn't be happy with that, but for us especially, like, we were 20th at Christmas last year, and like, for us, if it's between even Conference League, I'm taking all day long, and I will be like a tad disappointed just because I think, God, we've dropped off that much towards the end of the season when we've been pretty much Champions League the whole season. But I would not be upset by that. I'll be very happy. I'm happy with any European football this year because I just was not expecting it at all, like, in a million years.
I mean, it's really, again, you know, what you're saying. If I like zoomed back 12 months ago, that was exactly the same for us. I mean, we were riding for the previous 2 seasons. We were in the Champions League spots for, you know, 60 days. And then obviously we fell by the wayside a little bit because we didn't invest in the right times. And then we end up being in the Europa League, and people were, yeah, it's great we're being in the Europa League, but
I know.
it would have been nice for me to play the Champions League music at the London Stadium. But yeah, and that was not to be. And obviously last year, the same thing. Unfortunately, that wasn't meant to be either. I think those were our best 2 chances. And I think it's similar to last season in that, you know, where I think us and Leicester were like riding high in the Champions League spots, and sort of everyone apart from the greedy 6 teams were egging us on to get into the Champions League, to break out that monopoly. And I think that's the same with Newcastle this year. And you know, the likes of Brighton, you know, potentially maybe taking the Europa League place at the moment in terms of it's all sort of it's all a bit weird at the moment. And as you said, I mean, I don't even know what's going on at the bottom of the league, to be honest, because 1 goal changes everything. You know, at the moment, we're 15th. We started at 14th. It could all go back again if Forest equalise against Leeds. I don't really understand how it all works, but it's so tight down there. It's ridiculous from I mean, there's 7 points between 12th being Crystal Palace and Southampton. I mean, we're the only team behind. Actually, it's only you and us. No, Man United and Brighton have all played 27 as well. So everyone else has played 20. Fulham's played 28 and Brentford. But yeah, it's bloody close everywhere. It's close down the bottom. It's close down the top, innit? I mean, the top 2 have gone with it. You know, they're away now. They can. I mean, Arsenal away. It's Arsenal's title to lose, isn't it? Now, then obviously City at second, and then I think you Spurs and United for 3rd and 4th, really, innit? In all honesty.
Yeah.
It's a nice place to be in.
It's weird, man, because I'm just worried about it now. Like, I don't want to be worried because, as I said, like, I'm quite happy if we don't get Champions League. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, like, this is our year, because I don't think it is. I'm a lot more confident that we actually are up there and thereabouts for, like, the foreseeable future now. But it's just like, it'll just be I just feel in my heart it'll be like a massive missed opportunity just to get far, far ahead of schedule. Like, I wasn't even planning as a fan to see us anywhere near the Champions League for at least 5 years. So it'll be there now. It's like, bloody hell, like, this, you could really, like, step up the project here, like, by 5 years. And that's, like, massive, especially in this day and age of the Premier League, when not even the Premier League, just football in general, when it's just so business oriented and so money oriented. Like, I know obviously our owners have the money, but as a club, like, we don't get anywhere near as much revenue as, like, the teams around us right now.
No.
So for us to just accelerate that by 5 years would just be insane. Like, as I say, I will be a little bit disappointed if we didn't get it now, because we have just been up in and around there pretty much most of the season. But I would still be so happy with Europa League or even Europa Conference.
Yeah, totally. I think you're right. I think we assumed. I assumed, and, you know, as I said, I thought you would have probably got, I think, a top 10 finish would be a good sort of, almost like a gradual thing. You know, it's sort of hit quite quickly, and I think quicker than I think a lot of people thought it would do. And, you know, as you said, it's very much a 5-year plan type thing, and obviously it's a project, and Eddie's been brought in, and Eddie stayed there to keep this project going. And I know what you mean. It's like we were the same, and it's like, you know, from having no European football for, I don't know, 2000, we won the Intertoto Cup, so it would have been early 2000. So about 20 years of no European football, really, if you can call it that. To then have the Europa League and obviously get to the semi-finals last year, with the quarterfinals of the conference this year. It's just the fan base love it. It's a thank you to the fan bases, and obviously you'll get when you're in whatever competition you're in. So it's really nice just seeing your team play in Estonia, or, you know, and it's great. And you never know, you might do. I mean, I never thought we'd do anything in Europa League last year, and, it just seemed to just suit us. And
Yeah.
but it's a different type of football because obviously now, next year you'll have the Thursday, Sundays, hopefully. And well, no, Champions League Wednesday, Saturdays, isn't it? That'd be better for you guys. And it's that 2-game week, and it makes a big difference. It'd be interesting to see how Heady sort of copes with that, really.
I agree, because we haven't had that. Like, everyone around us, pretty much most of them have had a midweek game. Because obviously Arsenal were in the Europa League till recently, Man United are still in the Europa League, FA Cup, things like that, Man City Champions League, FA Cup, everything like that. Even like Liverpool and Chelsea, they've also had Champions League and stuff up until recently. So this is why I think this year specifically I'll feel more it's just like an opportunity miss, because we have this chain of events that's happening right now, as in Chelsea not being very good, Tottenham like falling off a little bit, Liverpool falling off, us not having a midweek game. Like, this chain of events is never going to happen again for us to have it as achievable as it is now. Obviously everyone's going to strengthen in the summer, there's going to be money spent and things like that. So that's why I think I would feel a little bit more like aggrieved if we didn't get Champions League at this stage, because I'm like it's never going to be as not easy but as achievable as it has been this year. So but listen, I'll do Iron Apple away all day long. I'm happy there. I'll pack my suitcase. I don't mind where we go.
It was quite funny. It was quite funny when you saw when we got drawn against Larnaca, and you just saw Mark Noble's smile, thinking it's only about 35 minutes away from Iron Apple, and loads of them, all the guys like, we'll open up early. We're going to have 2,000 West Ham fans for a few days. It'd be stupid not to. But that's the thing, and and some people, they want to get drawn against the Barcelonas and but I want to, you want to win a few games, and because I know, it's the money helps as well. I think I think the conference itself, I think if you win the conference, it's about 40 million quid from beginning to end. Plus you've got guaranteed Europa League next year in the qualifiers, in the group stages. So that's another 25 million quid. So for a club like West Ham, considering if we're in the Championship, for example, that £65 million could help plug a little gap that year. Hopefully it won't be the case, but still, it's wait and see what happens. Now, obviously, from the last time we played, I think you had a few, because Bruno was out then. Bruno's back. And I think a guy that I've criticised when you bought him, but I've changed my mind, is Isak as well. I mean, he's smashing at the moment, and he's really playing well at the moment. I did criticise you spending that much money at the time, because I thought, 65, 68, 58 million quid, but actually he's really, I've had my words. Sniff up for you. I did laugh. Because when we pay 30 odd million for Skamaka, who would I rather have at the moment? Someone who's playing, someone who's constantly injured, or rather someone who's playing at the moment. Although he was injured for a long time as well, Isak, wasn't he? But he's on fire at the moment, isn't he? Absolutely on fire.
He's so good. Like, I follow a lot of La Liga, so I've seen him like play it a lot. I don't remember him any time at Dortmund, but I have seen him play for Sociedad a lot. And I knew how versatile he was. I knew how much of a good player he was. But there's always questions, especially when you are kind of versatile forward. It's not something the Premier League see a lot in that respect, because it's quite like, up until I would say, like, obviously the Pep influence and stuff like that. You have seen more traditional number nines, like the likes of Callum Wilson, like Michael Antonio, Danny Ings, like just people like that. But recently it's obviously started to become a little bit better. So I was such a big fan of this guy. And obviously 2 games, he played really well. He scored against Liverpool. That was his first game. And then just before the World Cup, bang, he goes and gets the longest injury of his career to date. Luckily, the World Cup ruined our momentum completely. Like, I just wish it had never happened now. But I mean, who knows where we would have been. But it did help us in that respect, because then he came back after the World Cup, and he was kind of fit again. But he's so good. Like, I honestly just don't have a negative from him at the moment. His work rate's immense. His versatility across the front's insane. His finishing is fantastic. Like, just the work he does. We've just not had a forward like that at Newcastle for a long, long time. He's not like a talisman by any means of the imagination. He's not like a, you know what I mean? Like, he's not like a marksman, like a target man. That's not him, but that's not the type of player that he is. Like, he has much more to his game than goals. And the last time we played you guys, obviously it was 1-1, wasn't it? We were just on a downward spiral at that point. I honestly, I had thought we'd like completely fluff the season up at that point because we couldn't score. We couldn't not
No.
draw
Exactly.
if we
And
tried.
it's exactly what you said. Because remember, you, me, and Anton were there, and the first thing you said, Callum Wilson hasn't scored for ages. And I went, welcome to West Ham. I think it took him a minute to score. Or something like that. No, he got disallowed. One got disallowed, didn't he, for VAR?
Yeah.
And then he scored literally with the next kick. And it's like, fucking told Kendall. Told her. Honestly, it's like if ever you want a striker who's going for a goal drought, play against West Ham because 99 times out of 10 they will score, or they haven't scored a corner ever, or welcome to West Ham.
But luckily, he finished his drought recently on Sunday, so he scored on Sunday, so he'll be all right.
Thank God for that. He will still score against us. It's just one of those Glenn Murray players who always scores. Always becomes prime R9 Ronaldo for some reason. I don't know what it is, but it always happens with West Ham. But as you said, you lost a couple. Now you've won 3 on the spin. Go into the West Ham game. Obviously, you're on 27 games. We're on 27. Obviously, this is both of our game in hands. And then you got Brighton. We've got little task of Man City away. That's 3 points in the bag for the Hammers. Once we get past our game, whatever happens, that Brighton game's gonna be a huge game for you guys, isn't it? Huge. Brighton 6th in the league. It's every game's big at the moment. Every game's big, but But I think there's a couple of players. Is it Almiron? I think might be out for tomorrow.
Yeah, Almiron's out. I think Almiron's going to be probably out till the next. I don't think we'll see him for about 2 or 3 weeks. He was going to go away with Paraguay, in the international break. Sorry, and he pulled out with an injury. So we don't know when it had happened. If it happened in training with Newcastle, or whether it happened if he'd gone away with Paraguay. But we're not sure where it's happened, but apparently April 30th is a date to look for. But he seems to be getting back into sort of coming to training and stuff now. So we don't know how long it'll be yet, but Almiron's out. But honestly, thank God and touch wood, pretty much everyone else is fit at the moment. Which is something that we probably haven't seen for like the whole season, because someone's always been out. Like obviously Isak was out for a long time. Callum Wilson's been injured. That's not a surprise. Several points out the season. Bruno's been out. Joe Willock's been out. Almiron's out now. So we kind of haven't had like a full. Anthony Gordon's been injured. We haven't had like a full squad. Obviously, Almiron aside for a while.
I think we haven't had one. We were due to have one this weekend, just gone for the first time ever this season, and then Skolmak is still out for another couple of weeks, I reckon. So he's the only injury. I think everyone's back. So we'll have. We've got we'll have what's his face, hopefully. Although I don't know because Moyes is being very Moyesy at the moment. So we've got like Cornet on the bench, who's our Sir Masterman. He's brilliant. And I wish they'd play him every week, but they just don't play him at all. It looks like that's the only injury out at the moment. And knowing Moyes, because we've already played them, because we played at the weekend, didn't we? So we've got these stupid number of games coming through. Yeah. I don't think we'll have much change from that side. Someone asked me a question the other day when I said you were coming on, and I want to ask about Eddie Howe. Obviously, he's seen as like a project manager. Do you see Eddie Howe being the man who could win you the Premier League?
Yeah, 100%. I obviously an English manager has never won the Premier League, so it'll be a big ask, like huge ask. But the way that he has approached the situation, just the way that he's, even aside from the football, the way he's like embraced the city, embraced the club, and embraced like the fan culture of Newcastle. Like, honestly, some managers come in to do a job and he's like genuinely embraced everything. Like he said in an interview the other day, obviously I know he's not going to say that, sit there and go, oh, Newcastle's a shithole. Obviously he's not going to say that, but it's not, but he's not going to say that even if he thought it. But he did say like, I must say I wasn't expecting the city and the fans to get under my skin as much as they have. And I think he's just embraced everything around it. Everyone's on the same wavelength. That just the momentum around the club's so good at the moment, and the vibe around the club. Like I genuinely wouldn't be surprised. Like obviously, not even just the Premier League, just like our first trophy. I think that in the Premier League year anyway, I think he would definitely, he'll definitely do it. He's proved he can like handle the big boys now, and we're really, really, really early into a project. So for me, 100%, I could see him do it. I would. Oh my God, I would honestly. I don't care who's manager if we win the Premier League. But I would absolutely love it if he was the first manager just to get us any sort of trophy. I would love it. Because I think it's the least he deserves, really.
Because I was talking to a guy at work today who's a Chelsea fan, and they were talking about some of the types of manager that Chelsea will be going for, and probably the types of same manager that Tottenham go for, and and then obviously I see the Premier League is like in tiers, and I see us as like a tier 2 club. I think, to be honest, I think we overachieved a couple of years, and I think we are sort of maybe 6 to 12, somewhere in between. And you might have a good season or about. That's where we should be at most seasons without any sort of major investment. And you're thinking about the types of managers, and then I was talking about Eddie Howe and thinking when Chelsea are talking about the likes of, I don't know, Luis Enrique, Simeone, maybe Julian Nagelsmann from Germany. These guys are elite level managers. They've been there and won it. And I was thinking, would there be a time eventually where and I don't think there would be at Newcastle, where the owners would want to flip and go for it and get an elite manager in to push them to the next level? Because I
do get asked that a lot, actually. If you think, like a big name manager will come in, but I honestly don't think, just because obviously, yes, the owners aside, I just think everything they've done so far at the club. I mean, look, as I say, we are very short. We're a year and a half at the takeover, but everything they've done so far at the club has really, really had the fans in mind. And I know that might be like a thing where, they're just doing it now, and then in 3 years they'll do what they want. But at the moment, everything they've done is had the fans in mind. They've always consulted the fans. They've always had the fans on board and had the best interests at the club at heart, which is so much. I know it's a business. I'm not naive, but just for someone fronting the takeover, like the likes of Amanda Staveley, for example, they really have the club at the heart of everything they do at the moment. So for me, I don't honestly think at this point, unless Eddie Howe has like a seriously bad season next year, and like we're like 12th, like 4 months in or whatever, I just can't see him going anywhere at the moment. And I think he's on a long-term contract, and actually none of us have even been told how long that contract is. So he did initially only sign for 2.5 years, and then in the summer signed a lot. It's just long term. So I'm not sure how long he's there, but I can't see him going anywhere anytime soon, and I don't actually think he should either.
No, I agree. It's interesting when you just, because it's like, I mean, we were talking about it the other day, about sort of, and obviously that's a big thing at the moment at West Ham and David Moyes, and the project and who the next manager of West Ham could be, and you look at it and people want. People want a project manager, but then you look at Potter at Chelsea, where that was brought in as a project, and the idea was giving money and and it's almost like it would take a lot of time to sort of change Chelsea from what it was to what it would be, and he wasn't given enough time there. And I think it's all right having a project, but like Eddie, you need to sort of deliver quickly, because irrespective, you're right. Football is a business, and actually, they want to make some sort of return on their investment, and so they want to be playing in Europe. They want to be playing against the big sides. They want to be doing the glamour ties, which bring in more commercial revenue and stuff like that. So it's this balancing act. So you want to see the project, you want to see them bleed through academy players and stuff, but if you don't get success, then they're out. So it's like you're almost like constantly on a seesaw. And you're right. I think if Eddie has a crap season next season, I wouldn't be surprised if they sort of like and get someone else in. That's not a way of, that's not a good way of explaining it. Getting rid of him, not here. But getting rid of him rather than killing him and moving on with a new manager. It's I was say it's a cutthroat business, but it is, isn't it? It's like you have to deliver, and it must be so tricky when you're trying to develop the club from the ground down. That's what Eddie's trying to do. You can see he's bringing in the right people at the right level. Obviously, they nicked one of our recruitment guys for the academy recently, again to build up the academy, building the sort of the talent from there. It's a strange one, isn't it? It's and you want to see it as a fan. You want to see progression. You don't want. And actually, thinking about it today, talking to these guys today, for me, you've got. I think people wanted Moyes out, and in terms of alternatives, they were looking at Benitez. But things with Benitez, he'd won a 3.5-year contract. You're stuck with that same football for 3.5 years. That's not really a project signing. That's very much a here and now. He'll do a
Yeah.
good job, and so actually, if you have Moyes at the end of the season, say he keeps us up, maybe wins a European trophy, then maybe leaves in the summer for someone like Potter or Rodgers or Michael Carrick or someone like that. I don't think that's a bad way to end the season. So
Yeah.
it's but it all depends tomorrow, innit? Because obviously we both won over the weekend. G beat Man United very well away from home. We scraped a 1-0 victory to bottom of the club, Southampton. So yeah, similar games, similar performances. Who are absolutely dreadful. And if you turn up with any good intentions, I think you'll probably turn us over quite comfortably. Hopefully not, but it doesn't.
You guys seem to be like a weird bowling team for us, though. Like the results over the last few years have been like proper bizarre. Like there's been 3-0s, there's been 3-3s, there's been like 1-1s. It's just like weird. It's just one of them teams that I personally never know what's going to happen when we play West Ham, especially away. Yeah. So for me, like I honestly, like to be fair, I'm not confident in any game of the season. Like we could play Southampton right now after that Man United game, and I would not go into that game and be like, we're winning 100%. I'm not like that. It's not something in my nature. I don't know whether it's just being a Newcastle fan and we've just had so much like crap for however long. Like, I'm still not confident and I'm still not comfortable. But yeah, I just think West Ham's like a weird team that when we play, I just never know what's going to happen with us, and we can just. At this point, we've won 3 in a row, and I'm like, I think like we're due like an off day, like God, and I just don't want it. I can't handle it.
The omens aren't great. We haven't won 2 games back to back in the Premier League since October, so yeah. But Callum Wilson's already broken his duck for a while, so that's good for us. I mean, yeah, we can say we're undefeated at home this calendar year, which we've played like 5 games, but a couple of them are draws.
That's good.
It's a start. It's a start in the right direction. I think it's going to be a tough game tomorrow from both sides. As I said, it's vital for both teams for different reasons. You at the top, us at the bottom. Beating Southampton on Sunday, yeah, will make us a dot of difference unless we get something out of the game tomorrow. Because otherwise, we're back to square one, really. Although at the moment, we're doing all right. Just looking at the scores, we're doing okay. Literally every goal that comes in can completely change it's ridiculous down at the bottom. And obviously, then we've got Fulham at the weekend. So away again, not an easy place to go to, but obviously Mitrovic has just been given an 8-match ban for pushing the referee. So that's good. He'll be suspended for that game. That's not too bad. Bloody Mitrovic. Aston Villa winning. Are they winning now? Are they winning, Mandy? Your fingers on the pulse.
Who are Aston Villa playing?
That's
Leicester.
Good for us. Leicester. Oh, that's great for us. Managerless.
I hope it's Ollie Watkins for my FPL. That'll be great.
For your FPL. Someone's put in the chat, I've got Trippier and Pope in my FPL, so I don't know how I feel. Right, so Havertz is a goal ruled out. I can't see the goal. Where's the goal? 2-1 Leicester. No, but Bertrand Traore scored. But that'll do for me. So that list. So Leeds, who are they playing? They're playing Leicester. So Leicester will be on. Yeah, they'll be on 25 points now. Oh God. How's my supercomputer? I always look at the supercomputer. Supercomputer tells us, I think we're on about 12% going down.
Yeah.
And less than 1% chance of qualifying for the Champions League, which I'm more disappointed at.
This is why I'm like not confident about playing you guys tomorrow, because honestly, when I as a former relegation team ourselves, like you just cannot underestimate especially if the club's still relatively together and like the players know the job that they have to do and they're still all right with the manager and things like that. Like you just cannot underestimate a team that's in the relegation battle, and like that's what worries me, because
but the thing is, you said something. But what you said was the club, the players are together, and then it's not really. It doesn't seem like that way at the moment. It seems to be a big divide between the guy sitting in the dugout and everyone else. To be honest, I think that's basically what's happening at the moment. Oh dear, what's happening? No. Leicester can't be winning if Villa are winning, you, Mandy, because they're playing each other. I'm sorry to tell you. Leicester are winning. Leicester aren't winning. Villa are winning. Just wanted to clarify that. There we go. You meant Leeds. No, Leeds are already winning. That's okay. Ignore me. But yeah, no, it's one of those things at the moment where there's. It's really frustrating. I think everywhere. I mean, the under 18s are doing fantastically. After like tomorrow, so tomorrow night is the Newcastle. the next day we're back at London Stadium because they've got the FA Cup Youth semi-final.
Right.
So that's great. That'd be a great celebration. But it's it won't be if we've lost. Where you are 66% qualification, chance of qualification for the Champions League. So
Wow.
it's the supercomputer.
Wow.
There we go.
Oh my God. Honestly, I can't. I actually can't cope. When I think about that, I literally can't cope if we get Champions League. I remember very early 2000s. I vaguely remember it because I was 6 and 7 when we last got the Champions League. So I vaguely remember it. And I went to see Newcastle versus Benfica, right? And I don't know whether that was Europa League or Champions League. I can't remember. That was my first ever game years and years and years and years and years ago. But I don't remember it. The first game that was my really serious game was Alan Shearer's testimonial. So that was the one I remember the most. But I've got a ticket off a Benfica game, and I don't know whether I would have to go back upstairs and look at it. I don't know whether it's Champions League or Europa League, but I can't remember us ever being in Champions League and out like that. So I remember us being in Europa under Alan Pardew. Fair enough. But I don't remember us being in Champions League. And honestly, I can't even imagine the thought or cope with the thought of Dan Burn against Lionel Messi next year. I literally just can't cope. That's just
he'll have to stay left back. He'll have to stay fullback, Dan Burn, just for that one reason.
Yeah, it's just wild.
Don't buy a new fullback. No. Don't buy Serginho Dest from Barcelona. No one like that. Keep big Dan Burn.
Absolutely.
He'll show Messi. He'll show Neymar what to do. That'll be fair play. I mean, I think it's predicting that you'll finish 4th at the moment on the supercomputer.
Yeah.
So, look, fuck it.
I'll take 4th all day long. I don't care where we finish.
So true,
isn't it? I'm here for it.
Fair play to you. I know what you mean. So obviously, you're a bit nervous about tomorrow. We're a bit nervous about tomorrow, so that's good. 2 nervous teams, just like we played on Sunday. We had 2 nervous teams, but nervous for the wrong, wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Different reasons than tomorrow. Would you take a point tomorrow?
Yes, I would, because I think we've got we've got 3 away games in a row now because we've got Brentford and then Aston Villa, and our running coming towards the end of the season it's quite tough. We've got still Arsenal to play, Chelsea last game of the season, Tottenham. So we've still got a couple
Chelsea
of
Chelsea a mid-table team now, aren't they?
Chelsea mid-table, exactly. We've shut their place this season now. But we've obviously got Brighton to come. So we've got a really difficult run coming up. So I would take a point still. Man United play it tomorrow as well, don't they? I don't know who they're playing though.
Yeah, Man United have got
Everton.
Everton. Is it Southampton? Or is it Everton? They got where is it? Let's have a look. Brentford at home.
Brentford, okay.
See, Brentford are one of these teams. They're just so in there. It's like they're a niggly team, and I think they're hanging around the 8th, 9th spot at the moment. But you said some tough teams. As you said, you still got the Brentford, and you said you've got Brighton still to play. Still got a lot of teams around you to play as well, and it's penalty at Leicester City. Oh God, it's going to go back to 2-2 now. Oh God, I can just.
Is it penalty for Leicester?
Penalty for Leicester, apparently. Penalty for Leicester. Oh dear. Oh great. Oh, we'll see what happens there. I think. I would take a point. Obviously, we need 3 points. We need 3 points now. It's now we've drawn so many games recently. 1 or 2 of them were 3 points. Would have been mid-table, no problem at all. And it's you're right. You want to play. You want to be playing teams like Fulham, who have sort of got nothing really to play for now, apart from maybe bragging rights over Chelsea. That's probably the only thing they've got to play for. But the trouble is, apart from maybe Fulham, everyone else, and Brentford, not even Brentford. I think Fulham and we'll say Fulham and Brentford. Everyone else has something to play for, whether it's to stay up, whether it's to go into Europe, and that is mental at this stage of the season.
I know.
It's crazy.
It's going to go down to the last day. Everything's going to be going down to the last day at this point. Europe places, relegation.
It's going to ruin my holiday. I'm in Dubai. Of course, I'm in Dubai. I'm from Essex, but it's going to be like, I'm just going to. What's he got? Brighton. Brighton's gone 2-0 up. That's good.
Not for us.
This is like, it's not exactly, not good for you. No, you're all right. I mean, you're still 4 points ahead of them, and you still the same number of games in that's playing with them, because they're playing their 26th game today, I think, isn't it? Or 27th. So you're all right. Actually, you'll be all right. You'll be fine. You're 66% chance. 2/3.
Better that supercomputer better be right, otherwise I'll be like,
well, it better be right.
I'll be having beef for the supercomputer.
Yeah, otherwise. Although I'm very disappointed. West Ham only have a less than 1% chance of qualifying for the Champions League. Unbelievable. And you're not even down as potential relegation candidates. So there we go.
Wow.
I think Liverpool is the.
I wonder at what point we're safe from relegation. Like I would have to have a look. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah.
I just can't wait till we actually say like, oh, we can't get relegated this season.
Well, that's the thing. There must be a change in mentality sometime, because, as you said, I see Newcastle and West Ham sort of similar types of passionate fan base, and they've both been through some shit over the last 20 years. For me, we never won nothing for 40 years, apart from the Intertoto Cup, and then
same.
Exactly. But for you, you're the same as us. It's get to 40 points and then see what happens.
100%.
And there must be a change in mentality eventually where you're not even concerned about getting 40 points. It's now, okay, well, let's get into the top 6. So it's almost like your sort of cut-off point is not just to get 40 points and then see what happens. It's actually to be pressing for, as you said, Champions League, pushing for the title eventually, competing on all fronts. Now, at the moment, Arsenal and City are basically gone away from it, I think so, and I think they will be for a while. But as you said, the summer, lots of signings. Who would you like to come in the summer for a player? What do you need? I suppose.
I still think we need a couple of players, to be honest. I think it'll be a striker, because obviously we let Chris Wood go in January and didn't replace Chris Wood, and Callum Wilson. As much as I love Callum Wilson, you just cannot rely on him for a full season. Like, it's tough. He's just injury prone. So definitely a striker for me. Probably another winger, because I'm guessing some players will leave, to be fair. But definitely a winger. A defensive midfielder would be great. Attacker midfield would be fantastic. And I want James Maddison. And I do think that James Maddison was pretty much our player in the summer anyway, last summer. But it decided that we weren't going to pay Leicester 60 million, which is fair enough. And now he's got like only 1 year left of his contract. So I think, I'm pretty much guessing he's probably going to come at Newcastle in the summer. I'll be happy with that again. And then I'll probably go. We need another fullback, I think, at least. Probably a right back.
What are you about? You got Dan Burn. What are you mad about?
I love Dan Burn, but he's not a left back. Sadly, he can play, that, to be fair to him. So we have got him and Matty Targett on at left back. And then right back, we've only really got Kieran Trippier. I mean, like Emil Kraft had.
You've got Harrison Ashby. Don't forget Harrison Ashby.
Understudy, of course. But I'm probably. Do you know what? I don't even know where he is at the minute. Like, he hasn't been on the bench or anything. I don't actually know where he is.
Well, I'm glad he moved for first team football, because it's worked out well for him. Same as Sonny Perkins.
Probably eventually he'll get it. I just don't know where he is. I don't even know. I don't really pay attention much to like the under 23s or the under 21s or anything like that. So I'm not sure where he is at the minute. He could be playing for the under 21s, but so I think we need probably another 5 or so players. And I would say, like, I don't think we'll get 5 players in the summer, but at least 5 players. And I mean, like, first team players. So I'm not like looking at like, let's go and get like a backup midfielder. Like, we don't need that. We literally need someone who's quality enough to come in and play the part, because we need that depth. It's just something we don't have.
So true. That's so true. I mean, we did the first year in Europa League with the same squad that we pretty much had the previous year. And it does. It's a weird way. It hindered us towards the end. We definitely ran out of steam towards the end. But I think it was quite good to keep consistency, because they were so during the midway through the season, they were right. It's towards the end, they really tailed off. Where now we've got, in essence, 2 sides really. And I think if anything, it disjoints a little bit, because one team's very different from the other team, and some players to play both games, and it's a very strange thing having that sort of European football. But 5 players. I mean, that's still a lot of, you reckon there'll definitely be some players out as well. Leaving the club as well, so it'll be a lot of turmoil. I think Maddison fits in really nicely with you guys. I think, I'd rather him going to you guys than Spurs. So and Spurs haven't got a manager, so and we'll have probably about 3 by the time the end of the next season.
I'm only worried that Brendan Rodgers goes to Spurs and then he's like, oh, let's bring Madison back to Spurs. And that's what I'm worried about. And I'm like,
but
oh,
I can see
okay.
Madison having that sort of the Eddie Howe factor could really work for Madison, you know, in terms of being just very likable and, you know, and so, yeah, a modern manager, and maybe he's had enough of working under Rodgers, you know what I mean?
That's
So
true.
it might be you know, was it a change is as good as, or breaks as good as a change. And no, I think there's going to be a hell of a lot. I was thinking today, people talking about obviously Declan moving on and stuff. There's going to be so many midfielders moving on. You've got Madison, Declan Rice is probably going to be moving on. You've got the likes of JWP as well. Well, Prowse could be leaving if Southampton go down, and there's another half dozen quite easily. Calvin Phillips might be moving around, and so there's going to be so many of those sort of similar type of midfield players. It's going to be a bit of a bum fight, and I think it's going to be there's not that many to go around. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens.
This summer's going to be mad, especially with the caliber of clubs that could get relegated as well, because there's so many. Like the Premier League, I think a lot of people are saying it's weak this year, but I actually think the opposite. I think it's probably one of the strongest years we've ever actually seen in the Premier League, because some of the caliber of players that could get relegated at this moment in time is genuinely crazy to me. Especially like West Ham and Leicester, who have been battling in Europe, if I can speak, European spots for like a significant number of years now. It's actually crazy to think that they would be anywhere near relegation. Everton, who have never been relegated in their history, could get relegated. Like it's like Leeds have got some fantastic players. Like it's just honestly, I just don't know what's going to happen this year.
You're totally right. I mean, Southampton, you look at James Ward-Prowse, Leicester, you got Tilo Tielemans, Huey Tillemans, and various other players. You know, Forest have got about 50 players, haven't they? So they've got plenty to get rid of. Some really good ones there.
They'll be all right, because if they get rid of 11 players, they've still got 2 squads, so they'll be fine.
They've still got 2 squads. They'll be fine. So that's not a problem. They'll just keep the squad that took them up last year. I think they're still there. You're right, Everton. I mean, even Wolves. I mean, you know, even bloody Crystal Palace. You know, like people like Zaha and Eze. You know, if they got dragged into it, which they could do, it's crazy. I mean, the fact that Chelsea are close to the bottom than they are to the top,
I know,
is mental. I mean, the whole thing's mental this year, and I agree. And I think actually this season, anyone can get anyone. Anyone can beat anyone. So you're right. It's like you could. I mean, you know, Southampton have, you know, they beat City, didn't they, in the cup, and it's mental this season. So it's really exciting. I think if you're in that sort of upper sort of front first half sides, you know, like you are, and sort of down to say Villa, for example, you know, you're laughing because it's like every week's different, you know, and for us, it's anyone who puts a run of 3 games in now will stay up, which is mental.
I know.
I think 3 wins will keep you up now. So we're on 27. So obviously we'll win tomorrow, and then we'll beat Fulham the weekend, and then what we got to do is beat Arsenal. Easy.
Great.
Job done.
You've sorted.
Simple.
You're staying up safe by this time next week.
Oh, staying up. Exactly. But no, it's apparently Leicester have picked up the fewest Premier League points since the World Cup. Wow.
Right.
And Palace won their first game of the calendar year on Saturday as well. Anyway.
Yeah, under Roy. Crazy.
Under Roy. I mean, you know, and again, you know, Palace went out and got like a progressive manager in Vieira.
Yeah.
And they've ended up going back to Roy again. You know, and it's like I think Thomas Tuchel said something after Graham Potter had been sacked to say, "Oh, that was really bad timing because I've just taken the Bayern Munich job." Like assuming they were going to like want him back. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, they've got Santos, haven't they? He's stayed on. He's like, for anyone who watches Ted Lasso, he's like the Nate. You know, he's staying on. You know, where Brendan's been sacked. No, not Brendan. Potter's been sacked, but he's kept. But Nate's still there, and Santos, he's still there, and they got a draw today, so they're going to get a draw today. And obviously, West Ham is Nate's club, isn't he? If anyone watches Ted Lasso, all filmed at the 3rd series, filmed at West Ham. I've just got Mrs. Budden into it. It's only taken me 3 years to get her into Ted Lasso, and she's coming. And my daughter's going to her first ever game tomorrow. So so West Ham are bound to lose tomorrow for that exact reason. I said, "Oh, we got the fireworks, we got all the light shows." She's like, "Brilliant." Gonna get turned over. You've seen a few goals float, for the wrong side. Kendall, mate, it's been brilliant. You might as well I want you to get some sleep before your kid wakes you up at silly o'clock.
Oh no, Easter holiday vibes. Honestly, she's
Innit?
at this point where, like, because obviously late mornings are coming back in and stuff. She's like waking up at stupid o'clock, and then she's coming in my room, and I'm like, "Aya, why are you awake?" And she's like, "The sky's awake, so I'm awake." I'm like, "Great, well, I'm not."
Isn't it the way though, right? When they don't have to be awake like early, they wake up early. But when they have to be up for school,
oh yeah,
they can't get up. It's like today. I FaceTime her. I was in the office today about 8:30. She don't stir. She's 11 going on 18. She's like a proper teenager already. And she's like, and she's always like, about 10:30. She's like up like 8:30. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? She's like, I'm up, and it's like, and I know, like, I think we've got when I've got. I think I've got a line on Saturday, so about at 7 o'clock, I'm going to get awake and get woken up to let the dog out or something like that.
That's always the way.
It is. Right, Kendall, thank you so much as always. That's it. We won't see you again until next season, hopefully. We'll be chatting again next season. It won't be an FA Cup game.
I do hope you stay up. I really do. Hope you stay up. I'm not even saying that as a thing. I do think you'll stay up. I think you'll be fine, but obviously it's just not going to be enjoyable until then. That's all.
It makes it interesting. I mean, we had there's certain periods of, I call it stagnation, where we sort of tread water, and I could do with a couple of seasons of that, to be honest. Just chill out a bit, not be too, just in the middle, and but we're different. And as we said, and as Marks as never, we wish you the best of luck after tomorrow, as per usual. So take care. Cheers, Kendall. Thank you very much, and thank you to everyone for watching. As always, if you like, comment, share. Check Kendall out on Twitter, Kendall Rowan. You do some, was it the sports stuff you're doing it now? Who's the football thing?
Yeah, just like commentary and stuff I'm on now. Honestly, I've got my fingers in all bloody pies, mate, at the minute. Just honing me craft at the minute. So yeah, just do a bit of commentary here and there at the moment, but we're out and about, us content creators, we do whatever we get our hands onto, really. So
whoever pays them, basically. No.
Exactly. No.
Facts. I know what you mean. All right, and obviously thank you to everyone for watching. As I said, like, comment, share, all that good stuff, and we'll see you very, very soon. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be doing the lunchtime. Actually, no, I'm doing the lunchtime. I'm going to do a late lunch show outside the stadium tomorrow before I start work. And we'll have to watch along and all that stuff. Take care, stay safe. Yeah. Love you. Bye. Cheers, Kendall. All the best, babe. Bye-bye.